As the European Union, EU, and Senegal celebrate nearly 50 years of cooperation in various sectors, including electricity infrastructure and fishing, a closer examination of the partnership reveals questions and considerations about its impact and transparency. That and more is what we look at in this video. During the European Day celebration, EU ambassadors engaged with the Senegalese press, emphasizing the execution of European projects in Senegal and their alignment with principles of peace, unity, and solidarity. However, amidst the festivities, there is an inquiry into the actual effectiveness and transparency of these projects. While the EU highlights the longevity of the partnership and its foundation on shared values of peace, democracy, and human rights, some wonder if these ideals genuinely translate into tangible benefits for the Senegalese people. Despite being described as Senegal's first economic partner, doubts persist about the equitable distribution of the benefits derived from this partnership. Europe Day is seen as an opportunity to strengthen ties in the private sector and vocational training, promoting a win-win partnership focused on youth empowerment. However, there are lingering concerns about the actual impact on local communities and whether these initiatives truly address the root causes of unemployment and economic disparities. The European Union's fishing agreements with African countries, including Senegal, have long been a topic of debate and contention. These agreements often raise questions about equity, sustainability, and the management of natural resources. The situation between the EU and Senegal is a prime example of this complex dynamic. The EU-Senegal fishing deal has come under scrutiny, particularly regarding the allocation and monitoring of fishing quotas. The controversy escalated when the EU ambassador in Senegal claimed that EU vessels were only fishing 3,000 tons of tuna per year in Senegalese waters, significantly less than the 10,000 tons allowed under the agreement. This raised concerns about the need for more stringent monitoring and enforcement mechanisms. In response to these claims, President Faye of Senegal took proactive steps by publishing the names of vessels authorized to fish in Senegalese waters. This move was aimed at increasing transparency and ensuring better oversight of fishing activities. The publication of this list was met with approval, particularly among fishing stakeholders in places like the Polish port of St. Louis. The stakeholders in St. Louis emphasized the importance of transparency in fishing activities, highlighting the need for people to know what is happening in terms of fishing practices. The publication of the authorized vessels list was seen as a positive step in this direction, providing reassurance to those concerned about the sustainable exploitation of Senegal's marine resources. However, while the publication of the vessel list is a significant development, there are calls for further action from authorities to ensure effective control and monitoring of fishing activities at sea. To my public knowledge and transparent and available European boats are not authorized only to fish the stocks which are surplus, and then they only fish two types of fish, tuna and the Lonoir Sea, which are fish that the salmon fish 3,000 tons per year. They are authorized to fish a quota of 10,000 tons. Under the fishing agreement, they fish 3,000 and the total catch in Senegal is 4,000 tons per year. Fishermen and mariners stress the necessity of rigorous monitoring to prevent overfishing and other detrimental impacts on marine ecosystems. The fishing community in Senegal remains hopeful that the government's actions will have a positive impact on fishing practices and resource management. However, challenges persist, including the recurrence of accidents at the mouth of St. Louis, which have claimed the lives of many fishermen. Despite efforts to address these issues, the problem persists, leaving fishermen and their families in a constant state of uncertainty and insecurity. The fishing industry plays a vital role in the livelihoods of many coastal communities, providing sustenance, employment, and economic opportunities. However, the dynamics of this industry are complex and multifaceted, as exemplified by the experiences of fishermen in Senegal. Fishermen find themselves grappling with the high costs of fuel, investing substantial sums to navigate the vast expanses of ocean in search of their catch. Despite their efforts, success is not guaranteed, and many return with empty nets, disillusioned by the scarcity of fish. Indeed, the once plentiful marine resources now seem elusive, prompting some fishermen to question the viability of their profession. The rise of industrial fishing further complicates matters, as large-scale operations encroach upon traditional fishing grounds, leaving smaller-scale fishermen struggling to compete. In response to these challenges, the Senegalese government has embarked on a path of reform, aiming to manage the fishing sector with greater transparency and accountability. The publication of authorized vessels signifies a step towards this goal, providing clarity and oversight in an industry plagued by ambiguity. However, challenges remain. Illicit fishing activities persist, undermining conservation efforts and jeopardizing the sustainability of marine ecosystems. Calls for stricter controls and enforcement echo throughout the fishing communities, urging the government to take decisive action to curb illegal practices. Furthermore, there is a growing consensus among stakeholders that the current number of authorized vessels must be reassessed to ensure the long-term viability of Senegal's fisheries. An audit of the sector is proposed, aimed at identifying inefficiencies and addressing systemic issues that hinder sustainable management. In light of these challenges, there is a growing consensus among stakeholders that more decisive action is needed to safeguard the future of fishing communities and marine ecosystems. The effectiveness of the government's initiatives, including the publication of vessel lists, will ultimately be judged by their ability to ensure sustainable fishing practices and protect the interests of future generations. The publication of the vessel list is viewed as a positive step towards better governance of the fishing sector. With continued efforts and collaboration, there is hope for the revitalization of Senegal's fisheries, ensuring the prosperity of coastal communities and the preservation of marine biodiversity for generations to come. If you like the videos that I produce on this channel, please take a little time to like the video and subscribe to the channel.